Welcome, folks. Here we are in another P-Cloud webinar. Today we're planning to discuss how project teams can manage asset data, documents, and relationships in Autodesk Construction Cloud. I'm Rich Scotty, and today I'm joined by Nectar Platis. Nectar is our Chief Technology Officer. Nectar, can you tell us a little bit more about P-Cloud?
Thank you, Rich, and thank you everyone for attending. My name is Nectar Platis, and I am the CTOO at P-Cloud. P-Cloud Innovations builds data-driven software for the process plant industry. We're headquartered in Montreal, Canada, and also have amazing team members in the United States. We are an Autodesk Developer Network partner, as well as an Autodesk Construction Cloud integration partner. We spent 30 plus years developing Autodesk integrated vendor-neutral solutions that work seamlessly with AutoCAD Plant 3D, Revit, and Advanced Steel. We ensure your project data stays accessible, consistent, and actionable. Back to you, Rich.
P-Cloud Innovations' flagship product, Plant Vision, is now powered by Autodesk Construction Cloud. Today we're going to focus on how Plant Vision builds and maintains an asset registry to manage data, documents, relationships in your ACC project. It's this tag registry that allows Plant Vision to freely navigate between models, drawings, and related data or properties using your ACC login or on any web browser. Maybe Nectar can give us a quick overview of Plant Vision for ACC.
You got it, Rich. Let's jump right into Plant Vision. First up is our project management page. This page lists all the projects available to you in Autodesk Construction Cloud. From this page, you can also identify which projects are ready for Plant Vision. What does that mean? Well, Plant Vision elevates your project data. It gives you more insight into your data and helps you work faster. If you look at the icons on the left, the projects with the Plant Vision logo already have their project data elevated. Elevating the next project is super simple. All you have to do is click on the ellipses and press the Elevate Project button. Depending on the project size, this can take a while, about as long as it takes to push this project to ACC for the first time. So let's get started. Let me find the project I want to show you today and click to enter. This is the Plant Vision project page. Plant Vision is fully customizable and very dynamic. The UI introduces a collection of palettes that you can place where you want to on the screen or even pop them out and move them to another screen. Wherever you place your palette and even wherever your models you have open, Plant Vision will remember them and make sure that when you return to this project, you'll pick up exactly where you left off. Let's start with the project file palette. If you know what file or folder you're looking for, this palette is for you. First, find the file you're looking for, click to open in the APS viewer. You also have the option to open all files in a folder, but be careful with that one. If you're not sure exactly where your asset or tags are, the asset palette comes right to the rescue. Key in the asset and press enter, and this will return a list of assets that meet the search criteria. If the model is already open, it will zoom directly to the asset. If it's not, it'll open it first. Selecting this asset brings some other palettes to life as well. First up is the Properties palette on the top right. This will show you all the data that is associated with the 3D object. The Properties palette contains all the data that was elevated from Plant 3D, Revit, Advanced Steel, IFC, or any additional data that was introduced with Plant Vision. More on that later. The other palette that came to life is the Asset Hub. This palette gives you instant access to all locations this asset was referenced or mentioned. If an Excel file or PDF contains a reference to that asset, they'll be listed here. Click on the file and the document will open instantly. You can also click on P&IDs and it will open that up for you. First, click to open the model, click it again, and it will take you to that object. Now, Plant Vision is also integrated with ACC issues, meaning you can see issues other ACC or Plant Vision users have created in this project directly in Plant Vision. You can also create issues directly in Plant Vision, and with Plant Vision, you can reference an issue to an asset. All this to say, the Asset Hub also includes any open issues that are linked to the assets selected in the APS viewer. There's a lot more to Plant Vision than this, but I think this is a good start. What do you think, Rich?
Well, that's a good start. I think we'll dig down deeper as we go. Today's discussion is aimed at EPCs or AEC firms developing data and documents around a complex set of assets, such as a process plant or an industrial facility. This typically involves several disconnected repositories where data, documents, and relationships are stored. Usually these silos of information fall along the boundaries of the applications used to create content, like Autodesk's Plant 3D, P&ID, Revit, Advanced Steel. Keeping them synchronized when there's multiple places for the same data to live involves manual processes and cumbersome tools used to push and pull information. How can we know which tools and methods are completely effective? So this likely means we also need a set of diagnostic data quality tools along with an effort-intensive QA process to make sure that the right information is used to create reports and annotate published drawings. So wouldn't it be great if we had a central source of truth where properties and relationships are aggregated and reconciled, and ACC brings the files and provides the framework or platform for project level integration? So let's expand that and also manage asset information all in one place. That's really what we're here to talk about today. As we already mentioned, the chances are your projects are using a set of design tools that maintain separate databases. 3D models manage physical properties and dimensions mostly read from piping specs or manually entered into data entry forms. Meanwhile, in the schematic world of the P&ID, we expect to find process information with design conditions like temperatures and pressures. In the case of Plant 3D and P&ID, Autodesk provides tools that help visualize where these two repositories differ. There are a few tools by Autodesk and third parties that compare P&IDs with 3D models to find these inconsistencies. Our own Plant Vision is one of those tools that allows you not just to visualize the differences, but to push and pull between them to ensure the project info is complete and consistent and accurate. So what are we going to do about other data coming from non-CAD sources like vendor information or construction status? In a joint venture project, we might see neutral files, CSV, COBie, IFC, spreadsheets, data sheets containing asset information that the team's going to need. So there's not an easy way to integrate any of this into the CAD-based design tools. So mostly what we see is this information is handled with manual checking and QA between the various sources. Plant Vision offers a way to bring all these sources together in a tag-based central source of truth. Sure, work in progress information still lives in the dedicated design tool databases, but once we save the file to ACC, it automatically gets pushed to Plant Vision. And that's where the project team can expect to find the latest and most complete records. Plant Vision Data Manager can sort, filter, edit, and even generate reports on asset information regardless of the source, and selectively push back just the things that need to live back in these design tools, or publish and rendition into things like Excel files or PDFs to make actual deliverables out of the data that's aggregated in from the various sources. Maybe we can ask Nectar to give us a little overview of some of the ways that Plant Vision integrates this data and allows us to work outside of the design tools. Nectar?
All right, Rich, let's dive right into Data Manager. The Data Manager is a core palette of Plant Vision. It provides powerful search and filter capabilities. It uses a consistent grid-native filtering model. Instead of taking hours to find something in your Plant 3D project, the Plant Vision Data Manager will transform that to seconds. The Data Manager starts up nice and simple like any other palette. You can keep it open on the side or pop it out and push it to another screen. Of course, no matter where it's located, it will remain synchronized with the rest of Plant Vision. Now, since I can't demo two screens right now, let's maximize it and see the whole thing. With Data Manager, you can search directly within the grid, quickly getting you exactly to your data. With this, I'm searching for Plant 3D piping objects that have a tag that contains the string 100E100. For most of you with query knowledge, the Data Manager also includes a filter builder where you can take this to the next level. And conditions or conditions grouping are also available. The data manager also includes a column chooser, making any field that is available in ACC available to you inside of Data Manager. Once you're happy, you can save this view and share it with your colleagues. Now let's take a look at views. At the top are a collection of system views. The views you see here are similar to the views in Plant 3D. The custom views are views you create for yourself or to share with your team. Navigation is pretty straightforward. Clicking on a view refreshes the grid and brings the data front and center. Back to you, Rich.
So that looks like a very Plant 3D like set of properties. How do we integrate with Plant 3D to get a list of those fields and the rules for the fields and that sort of thing?
Well, Rich, Plant Vision comes with a Plant 3D plugin. As you can see, our Plant 3D plugin keeps your project in the cloud synchronized with your project on the desktop. The first button brings you right to Plant Vision with the project you have open. The second button is what you're asking about right now, Rich. Upload project settings. Uploads the custom settings you have made in your project. The sooner you upload your project settings, the more functionality you'll have in Plant Vision. The changes and data manager buttons on the right, we'll talk about a little bit later. Rich?
So now that we're integrated with Plant 3D, we can push and pull between those databases and the edits that happened in Plant Vision?
Absolutely, Rich. Of course you can edit. The editable fields are the ones that are bold. The other ones are read-only and configured like that from Plant 3D. To make a change, just type in your new value and hit the Save button. If you need to change more than one field, the bulk edit feature is what you need. Select the rows you want to change and hit the bulk edit button. From there, select the columns you want to change, add your updates, and hit the Save button. Plant Vision will take care of the rest. Notice now, the editable fields are a different color. Green means one change has been made since the last update. Purple means there's been more than one, so you might want to take a look and see what's going on. Another view available in Data Manager is a little different. It's the Change Set view. Do you want to see what fields have been changed in the current project? Click the Change Set view. It'll shrink the filter down to just the columns and rows that have been changed. This feature is also available in the Plant 3D plugin, so you can quickly see your changes before it's time to commit them. Once you're ready to make the changes, hit the Data Manager palette within the plugin and see the list of files that are ready to be updated. Choose the file you want to update, hit the Update button. Plant Vision will make sure the file is already checked out. If not, it'll check it out for you, make your changes, and check it back in. Back to you, Rich.
We've been focused on Plant 3D and Plant P&ID. What about extra properties that are either coming from another tool or that just need to be sort of new properties added for the purpose of operating Plant Vision?
Well, Rich, here's how Plant Vision turns project specifics into actionable data with custom properties. In Data Manager, I can add my own fields right from the grid. In this example, I'll add 3 properties my team uses every day: PO number, ship date, and install date. These properties are searchable and filterable, so I can find all items shipping this week and coordinate installation. Custom properties makes your workflow visible from PO to site install right inside Data Manager.
Okay, so I could actually add those new fields to a view that might be coming from P&ID or maybe some fields from the 3D model, like the actual coordinate location or elevation of a piece of equipment.
Absolutely, Rich. We know that on every project, data moves faster than teams can align. Process engineers change specs, modelers revise tags, and vendors send Excel updates that must reconcile with what's in the 3D model. Plant Vision's Data Manager becomes the single source of truth for plant data, letting you export exactly what stakeholders need, validate updates on the way back, and keep the whole life cycle synchronized. With clean CSV exchange, governed Excel templates, and fit-for-purpose outputs, you reduce manual rework, eliminate version confusion, and accelerate handoffs across disciplines and phases. Now let me show you all the options available in Plant Vision. We'll start simple. Any filtered view in Data Manager can be exported to CSV, exactly the records and columns you're looking at. Now let me make some changes to the CSV and call import CSV, which validates headers, checks required fields, previews changes, and then bulk applies as a change set, so you can audit every update.
I see your changes there under the material.
We all know how powerful Excel is. For vendors, you can configure governed Excel templates with required columns, data validation, lists for specs, classes, and locked headers. So what comes back is clean and load ready. What's the difference between reports and data sheets? Reports are multi-asset tabular exports for analysis and roll-ups. Data sheets are per asset documents aligned to client formats. Think one row versus one document per tag. Reports honor your current filters, column order, and sorting. They include all current changes and scale to large projects with background export jobs.
That report template only mapped two fields. We could have mapped fields from different applications there in the template.
Yeah, that's right, Rich.
Okay, great.
Data sheets generate one document per asset using your template. Perfect for vendor packages, client submittals, and internal QA checks. Coming soon in Plant Vision, the same reports and data sheets you export can come back for controlled import, closing the loop across discipline, procurement, and construction.
Thanks, Nectar. Maybe we can take a closer look how Plant Vision helps with inconsistencies between the design tools. So for example, how can we determine if a tagged item is present in both the P&ID and the 3D model?
Hey, I got you, Rich. Now we all know that Plant 3D projects are not usually small projects. Luckily, and like I mentioned before, Plant Vision helps you work faster. We're working with a partner that shared a project with us of about 2,500 models, approximately 15,000 assets, and don't get me started on the number of Excel and PDF files. The partner had a simple question: what assets exist in both 3D and P&ID? Without Plant Vision, you'd have to inspect all this manually. With Plant Vision, this information is at your fingertips with our asset audit. Loading the asset audit palette immediately presents you with three tables. The first table shows you a list of assets that exist in both 3D and P&ID. The second shows assets only in P&ID, and the third shows assets that exist only in 3D models. Now, this is not just a report. Yes, you can export these tables to Excel, but the tables also are responsive. You can always click on the item and the rest of Plant Vision immediately comes to life. So, not only can you quickly see what's there, you can also dive into the details when needed. What do you think, Rich?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Well, another challenge these projects encounter is when a component that lives in both of the databases but there's inconsistencies between the properties that they share. So for example, the P&ID might refer to a size while the 3D calls it a nominal size or a diameter, but the values have to be consistent since they represent the same information. So we need a way to reconcile these, or at least visualize these differences, and then take action. We've implemented this feature in the standalone cloud version, and we're right now in the middle of porting this to the ACC version. But basically, it provides a mapping, and it highlights any of the assets that have a discrepancy and allows the user to copy between them. And then, of course, as we've already shown, push those back to the respective design tools. So that'll be re-implemented in a very short time here, where we've
Absolutely, Rich. And we're about a month away from that feature.
okay, great. Okay. What about when a tagged asset is renamed in one of the design tools? We need a way to associate these items as the same asset, regardless of which design tool we're using. So can Plant Vision still associate these renamed or retagged items as the same tagged asset, in fact, so that we can either, synchronize the tag string or resolve it using an issue or something like that? Plant Vision uses a persisted ID that it embeds in all the data. So even if they rename a tag, we know how to go highlight that as one of the discrepancies. And as we've already mentioned, we can either copy that between the two tools and push them back, or we can even allow them to be different, but still associate those as the same asset.
Yeah, that's right, Rich.
All right, well, as we were talking about before, it's likely that some other applications are populating information related to our assets or our tagged items. So how can we make this information available to the other design tools so we don't have to actually even go to the web to find that information while we're doing our work on generating models or P&IDs or something in a CAD tool? It's tempting to expand the schema of these tools to accommodate and push all of that information, but that's got to only further complicate that problem we discussed before, the challenge of syncing and reconciling all that data. Would it be better if we provided a way to view the information directly from Plant Vision right while we're operating the design tool, modeling, building P&IDs? So we no longer really need to carry that non-CAD generated information around with us in those working databases. In an upcoming new feature, Plant Vision will reference data into the AutoCAD design tools, properties and tooltips, and so that they're available from the user interface. So with Plant Vision, we can make this extra data available in the desktop tools without having to edit the schema and import and export in and out of the design tools and databases, as we've discussed in previous slides. So when we pick on an asset like this pump, then we can look up any of the information in real time from Plant Vision. And then Plant Vision extends the component properties to now include this extra data that was configured to show in the user interface there. This feature also creates the opportunity for us to remove fields from the working databases of the design tools that really aren't entered there or needed by the application. Okay, so what have we really seen here? In summary, Plant Vision provides a central place to access the information, about tagged assets, how they're being designed and installed and commissioned during a project. This registry of assets is mapped and indexed against the files or documents managed by Autodesk's Construction Cloud. The same tagged items can be referenced into the powerful ACC issues used to assign tasks and ensure completion. Plant Vision saves effort and increases accuracy. It extends project information authored in CAD tools to teams between engineering disciplines or across enterprises like supply chain or construction partners. So where do we go from here? P-Cloud is ready to help you and your team get started with Plant Vision. This application is available from the Autodesk Marketplace, and if you're using ACC already, we could have you evaluating and using Plant Vision in minutes. Give us a call or send us an email.